Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YINZER Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we're the YINZER Bros. We are just a few days from the Steelers' second half of the season. It is the toughest schedule in the NFL. I think it's safe to say that, Tim, we are all surprised where the Steelers are right now. Did you think at the beginning of the season, before the break, that they would be 6-2?
No, I picked them to go under 500 for the first time ever. So, no, I didn't think in a million years it'd be like this. I thought we'd have two buffoons running around a quarterback and thought this team would be imploding by now.
Things have looked up for the Steelers. So we have a big game coming up this weekend against the Commanders, and I think we're going to see. We have the toughest schedule coming into the back half of the season. I think we're going to see a little bit what the Steelers are made of. Tim, how would you rate the Steelers' season so far?
You're 6-2. I mean, you are what your record is.
That's a Tomlinism. Tim, are you adopting Tomlinism?
I don't know, man. It's starting to seep into my blood until about, I don't know. I'm guessing
19 years, Tim.
I'm probably 12:45 on Sunday when I'm cussing at the TV. Go, what are you doing?
It should be an interesting game.
I will say, man. I mean, Sunday was great though. I mean, sitting back, not having to worry about anything, watching teams it was great. I had a great Sunday.
It was a good game. I did. You're watching the Ravens and watching the Bengals. But I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. Well, how on earth did the refs? Are they just like sleeping sometimes with some of these shots? I'm not a Burrows fan. I mean, I like Burrows, but I don't care for what the Home Alone guy. Yeah. But man, they're slapping him in the head, grabbing his face mask. No calls at all.
I am going to say this, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think you're right. Watching those two teams yesterday play, I'm going. The Ravens' defense is terrible.
Terrible.
And then Cincinnati's defense stinks.
Terrible.
The thing that's crazy to me, though, Steelers aren't going to give up 31 points. It just ain't going to happen.
No.
I think they can hold that team to 20. I think they can hold those teams to 21, 24 points, and I think they can score more than that.
I agree.
This is going to be weird to say, but TJ, I would rather play Baltimore than Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, you're scared of Cincinnati. You've always been scared of Cincinnati.
TJ, that team didn't have T. Higgins, and I thought their defense was better. I mean, better than the Bengals. The Bengals' defense they got dudes like me and you playing at secondary.
I know. It's bad.
It is bad.
Yeah, it's bad. And the Bengals should have won the game. I mean, they should have won the game. They should have thrown a flag on that last play. I mean, the one dude has 4 face masks. He was holding like guys in the stands face mask.
I agree, but to me, it's like one of those things too. It's like I couldn't believe at the end of that game that you called that timeout before the 2-point conversion when you had Chase. No, it was Chase 1-on-1, and he had like 400 yards that game just throwing the ball.
I know. No, you're right. Well, that tells you too. There's a lot of coaching that goes involved in it too. But I agree with you. I think those two. I've never seen. When's the last time you saw Ravens that had a defense this bad?
I don't know if I've ever seen it this bad.
I mean, it's like bad.
And I know again, it was weird because I didn't know who to cheer for, but it found myself at the end of the game going, I think we're going to handle the Ravens. So I was almost I was like, okay, I kind of hope the Bengals lose here to put the final stake in their heart, dude.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going to rattle. They ain't going undefeated. They have to go undefeated the rest of the year.
Yeah,
that ain't
going to happen. No. I still wanted the Ravens to lose. If the Ravens lose, and then we take care of business this week and next week, that gives us a 3-game lead.
Yeah, and I get it, but to me, then you would have had Cincinnati breathing down, and guess what? You do win the division, or you finish in second. Hypothetically, if you probably win this division, you may finish second in the conference. Mm-hmm. You're staring at a date with destiny with Cincinnati in round 1, and I don't want to stare at that in the face.
I get, but I don't think Cincinnati. It'd have to be miraculous for them to get in now. It's just, I'm
not
going to say that.
I'm just saying if they would have won last night, I would have think Cincinnati may have got in as that 7 seed, and hypothetically, you get that 2 seed. I don't want to be stared at. That's the last team I want to see in a wild card round. No, that just is me.
And here's the thing too, and we know that we know the Ravens are going to get in, but with that defense as bad as it is, how much damage are they going to do? I mean, you come up against like a stinking Kansas City's got a good defense. You got some teams that have decent defenses, and if you can't stop them, but they can stop you, which I think they can at some point. But I'll tell you what a masterful addition they had of Deontay Johnson. He's a juggernaut for them, isn't he?
Oh, running. I'm just telling you, running backwards. And I know.
Slipping
I've
on
said
plays.
I've said it from day one. I was like, since that trade happened, I was like, he's going to have a back-breaking drop for the Ravens. And you're just going to be like, oh, my
Hate to
God.
see it happen.
He's already acting up, though. Like, he's already sending cryptic messages out. He's been
I
there for
know.
2 weeks.
Can't think of it happening to a better team. So we're halfway through the season. So let's just take a breath real quick before we talk about the Commanders, which we'll do a little bit later. How would you rate the Steelers so far? They're mid grades. Where would you put them in the AFC rankings? I mean, what are your? I mean, where would you stick them?
I mean, AFC rankings, like I said, again, from what I saw last night, I think they're three sitting in the
Yeah.
AFC. I do now. Like I said, I never thought. I never. I've seen. Like I've never sat down and watched a full Ravens game besides that Browns game a little bit,
Mhm.
and it was so hard to tell if their defense was crappy because it's Cleveland. You know what I mean? I'm like, maybe Cleveland's just not scoring. I don't know, but they are bad, and they
They
lost their
are.
best player too,
They did. They did.
Hamilton. So I would say, I mean, I say they're third in the AFC, and I would probably give them a. I'd give them a B. I mean, I think they're at a B right now. If I had to give them a grade overall, I think they're sitting at a B. Again, we will find a lot about what this team is in the next 3 weeks.
We will. I mean, this is going to be the meat of their season. If they can get through this this part pretty unscathed, and if they can, even if they go, what do they got in this back half? Do they got 9 games in this back half?
9 games.
So even if they go like, I don't know. To me, if they go 6-3,
Oh, if they go 6-3. If they go 6-3, they will be the 2 seed, maybe even the 1 seed.
I
Now,
mean,
because I can't see Kansas City losing
it depends on what
5
their
games,
victories
but
are. I mean, if they can, they got that terrible span of 3 games in what is it, 10 days, which
that's
is
what's coming up here.
which is
I
pretty
think
rough.
I think they have it back to back because I think they have that 3 games and then maybe they have the week in between and then the final
Yeah.
rush they have the
'Cause
game
They have
that's
the
going
one
to
with,
be
they have the one with Baltimore, and then the Chiefs at Christmas.
yeah, it's going to be killer.
Yeah. So it's going to be, it'll be interesting. So who is your, I'm with you. I would give them, I think with where they've been at with injuries and with, again, and their schedule wasn't terrible in the front, but they've done well. I say I would give them a B plus, maybe an A minus with where they're at now. So who would be your offensive, midseason, player of the year?
And we're taking and kickers are not concluded in this offensive positional.
Well, we'll put them in special teams. Yeah. We'll put them in special.
Who am I put as my offensive player? I'm gonna say the offensive player that I'm picking. I'm gonna say the easy thing is it's tough for me to say Russ or Justin because I mean Russ because he was 2 games, but who's been consistent since there and I'm gonna say Najee. I think he's been great.
Yeah.
I think he's been great. So I guess my seal of approval, either that or somebody on that offensive line. Dan Moore's up there. He's been good.
He's been very good. I'm going to go with, and again, I think because he changes the dynamic of the game, I'm going to go with George Pickens. He's been consistent. I think he is now moving into top 5 receivers, at least in the AFC, from danger and from threat. And now you got a guy who can get him the ball. And I mean, when you think of somebody getting the ball like Mr. Unlimited,
Mr. Unlimited.
it's scary. I mean, a one-on-one ball with him, a moon ball, is not a 50-50 ball. It's like a 60-40, 70-30 ball. I mean, what D-back?
He's just such a crazy human being. That's
But you
the
know
only
what?
kind of sucks, dude.
If anybody could settle him down, George, or excuse me, whatchamacallit, Russell's got like, he is, and it drives people nuts, but he is a professional. He knows what to say. He knows when to say it. And he knows how to kind of corral these kids.
I mean, to that or 97 had him upside down, shaking the change out of his pants in the locker room, saying, "Get your stuff right."
That's fine. And I think you need that too. So who is your midseason defensive player of the year?
I mean, come on, dude. I mean, is there any? I mean, it's. Ooh, I don't know. Let me want to think about this. I mean, the easy answer to me. I mean, you got TJ, but I think Deshaun Elliott has been fantastic. I think he's
I
been
agree.
great.
What a great pickup. So let's talk a little bit too about, the QB play. We didn't expect the QB play to be as good as it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin did a good job holding things
Yeah,
down. The
he did.
goal would be this, that he's learning.
Yep.
And then, I mean, so far, Russell Wilson's playing pretty well.
He looks like he's taken he got in that time machine. He's been back and
He
just
does.
came out. It's like, wow.
He does.
He's like, oh, dangerous,
So
dangerous,
that's right. So let's
dangerous.
talk about, I think, which is the unsung part of this whole thing. Let's talk about Arthur Smith.
He may be the offensive MVP for the first half because I mean, put it this way, TJ, it's either we have been like severely like just starved for the past 3 years of just seeing high school type of coordinating, or it's like he's actually pretty good. I can't tell what's the difference is. Like I said, I just don't know if it's like we've seen this crap for how many years, and we're like, oh, anything would make this better.
No, I agree. I think you got to go back to Bruce Arians and you got to go back to Todd Haley before
Yep.
you had guys that were, at least could put, diagram a decent offense. So
Yep.
I think he's done well. And there's talk now about Mike Tomlin looking at Coach of the Year stuff. I mean, hello.
I think he would have to do some. They'd have to do a lot more winning for him to be coach of the year.
Sorry, it's a
It's
dog
okay.
barking.
I like the dogs. I like the dogs. How about this? And we didn't even talk about this. I'm with the pod, like the trade. What did you think of the trades they made? Because we didn't have. I mean, it was last week.
I thought, and again, with guys that left, they lost out on a DeAndre Hopkins. But here's the reality: if you had a choice as DeAndre Hopkins to go to the Chiefs or to go to the Steelers, where are you going, Tim?
But here's my thing: like I don't know if if there would have been another option, he would have had the choice. I think he not like he had a no trade. Like he would have said, they would have gave him to the. Do you think if the Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs were giving the same round picks to Tennessee, they were going to send him to KC?
No,
Exactly. And do I think he'd be any good here? I don't know. It's
no,
like you just knew being with Patrick at some point, just because it's Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes, you're going, oh yeah, here DeAndre Hopkins looks like it's 94 again. What's going on?
I know. But I mean, you'll see. I do like the trade. I think picking up Williams is a big pickup because, again, we don't talk about this. He just fits Russell Wilson's game and he fits the Arthur Smith offense. You have another big body that's good at contested catches on the other side. It can't do anything but help George Pickens. And if anything, you know what it does? It opens up the underneath even more. The guy that's emerged that's done pretty well is Calvin Austin III.
I know, but TJ, this dude's got knees like me. I don't think he's nowhere any. It just that just gets me nervous, dude. He just
Well,
his knees. He's so slow.
I think again, if he's going vertical and you got him for what he is, I mean, what is he, like 6'4"? He's a big guy. He's not small. I
Yeah,
think I
TJ.
think he was a good pickup.
Being
And I'll
six
tell you
four,
what,
being 6'4" and slow doesn't. I mean, that's worse than being 5'8" and slow.
yeah.
My big thing is, I don't think if. I think if the picks are reversed for the two dudes they trade with, I wouldn't have that big of an issue with it. I don't know why. I mean, it's just, that's the way it's mentally working in my brain. It's like if they would have gave up a seventh for Williams and a fifth for the other guy, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. That's good value. That's good value. But it's just, I don't think Mike Williams was like a.
I think he was what he's what was left, and with all the other stuff. I'll tell you
But,
what.
but here, I guess my question is this, because to me, it's like, what are the. It's two different dynamics because what are the Steelers thinking? Because I mean, from every report that you heard, they had a deal done with Jacksonville to get Kirk, and Kirk is a slot dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that makes me feel like they were just like they were stuck holding the what do they call it at the end, the bride, whatever it is. They were a
Yeah.
bridesmaid, not
Yeah.
not a
Oh,
bride.
yeah. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They were a
Yeah,
bridesmaid. Yeah.
yeah,
I think you're right. I think they just got what they could, but I do think in the end he fits Russell Wilson's. He's a good route runner. He's big. He's basically a compliment to George Pickens. Anything you do, take heat off of George Pickens, and he's plug and play. And I know him and Aaron Rodgers. Well, if he would have done this and done that, Aaron Rodgers. Can we just say this? He is a poison to a team. I know he throws the ball. And it's great. The Jets are a dumpster fire.
I mean,
They're a
I think
dumpster fire.
I don't. Hey, don't be surprised they go on a run, buddy. Don't be surprised they go on a
They're
run.
not going to do anything. I'll tell you what. Now,
Oh.
to me, the pickup Peterson, right? Is that from Green Bay?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
huge.
he
Yeah.
is. I like him because he gives us again. It's not just depth at the outside backer. We're going to get
Yeah.
Herbig back, but him and
Yeah.
Herbig are two different types of guys. Herbig is a quick, put
I
him in
don't.
the end, beat that left tackle, whatever it is, when he's tired, and all he is, he's a splash player guy. That's it.
Mhm.
This guy comes in and he reminds me a lot of Highsmith. He can shut down the edge, and what he does now, we have guys that can spell TJ and Highsmith. So the end
trust
of the
me.
game, they're fresh.
You don't think it's crossed my mind that you're going to go, okay, you got TJ. You just been getting worked for 15 minutes from TJ and Highsmith. Then all of a sudden you're getting a fresh this dude and a fresh Herbig. If I'm an offensive line, I'm going to be like, oh my
It's scary.
God. It's just like you're going to, yeah. But
Here's another pickup too. I don't know if you saw this. It was a very sneaky pickup. They picked up that dude, that massive dude that was on the Bengals. He's basically a nose tackle. He's like 6'2", 350 pounds. Did you see that?
I thought it's not an offensive lineman.
No, he's
Well,
a
an offensive lineman.
he's a nose tackle, and they said all he does, again, he is in a 3-4. You need a prototypical boulder right in the middle, like a Casey Hampton, to suck up guards and suck up centers and all these guys. And I'll tell you what, I think that's what they've been missing from the middle of their defense when it comes to the run. Because I think Keanu Benton, I think he should be more on the outside rather than sitting in that middle piece. I think if you put him kind of like where Ogunjobi is and these guys, you get him and you get Cam on the other side and you have a big boulder right in the middle. Holy cow.
Yeah, but here's my thing, dude. I understand being a big boulder, but
they haven't had a guy that big in a long time.
But what is he doing on somebody's practice squad?
You know what? It is what I mean, I think you got to be
especially
the right
Bengals practice squad where their defense stinks.
Oh, it does. But again, they're not running the same defense we're running. Well, I think that's too, like with Peterson from like at Green Bay, they had him, their defense, he fits a 3-4 better than he does, a 4-4 or something like that. He's not built for that. He's a big outside backer.
He ain't that big, T.
No, I mean, he fits an outside backer, but he's not a defensive tackle.
I'm talking about this guy.
He's 6'2". I want to say like 320 or 330.
Yeah, he's not that big.
Dude, that's huge.
According to you, I'm about 4 inches smaller, and I'm about 10 pounds short of that.
Your specs are very close. I mean,
you get me in there, taking up tackles, taking up guards and centers, shooting.
You look at a guy like Cam Hayward. How big is Cam? How tall is Cam?
I don't know, he looks like a big black bear. That's all he does. He looks like a ginormous bear.
But what is? I mean, he might be what, like 280, 270? Yeah, I don't think he's 3 spins.
I mean, I didn't know they picked this dude up. This is the first time me hearing this, and I'm a little excited. I'm not gonna lie, but I got to read up on this dude.
And I thought to myself, this is good because they needed a big body right in the center. When they lost Montravius Adams, that's a big deal.
Something doesn't make. This guy's 28, so he's been in the league for.
And it's not that he hasn't played. He's just, you got to be the right fit.
He hasn't played.
You have to be the right fit. So if you're a regular D tackle in like a 4-4, what's he going to do? He's not made for that. You know what he's made for? He's made to put a helmet on him that's slightly bigger than his head. And he's made to just gobble up everything in the middle. We don't need you to go after. We just need you to stop anything coming to the 2A gaps. Can you do that? If he could do that, that's all we need.
If he could do that, this dude would have been playing. This dude would already been on the squad.
I think it's a wrong fit. These guys, you find the right fit. They needed a big run stopper. That's what he is.
You got me I am all over this dude trying to look up stats as we think I'm going, this guy. In my brain, the way you're talking about, I'm like, this guy he's Casey Hampton. I was like, how do we get Casey Hampton on the practice squad?
When I saw 6'2", like 3 spins, I was like, hello.
But TJ, we both know some fat people that you can't. It's like you just plug it right in the middle. They'll be I don't know, integral part of the 3-4 defense for the Steelers right now, just jumping on the train.
So mark my word, if you can have somebody shut up that middle, we have a lot of speed at linebacker, and then you get you put Benton. Benton needs to go outside on the other side of Cam. You do that.
But what I'm saying is, if that's what you're looking for, go get one of them dudes from the shows where they got to knock down the walls to get them outside, to get them out of the house.
That's true. That's true.
Throw them right there.
I think even Benton reminds me of Stephon Tuitt, and I think you get him where he's supposed to be, he becomes a scary person.
I'll always be convinced the downfall of this team started with Steve Tuitt and leaving the team. It just
It
did.
is. You know what? It was him, and it was also whatchamacallit, our big guard that just lost passion for the game. What was his name again?
De Castro.
Yeah, DeCastro. You say, I'm just done.
De Castro gave me 12 good years.
He did. He
Stephon
did,
Tuitt
but
signed a
he
big
just,
deal, and he was like, "Adios, senor." I'm going, what is going
I
on?
know. Well, but again, what you got to do is in the Steelers, they didn't have any replacement, plans for those two. And then losing to Shazier was bad too. But we digress. Before we talk about the Commanders, let's talk a little bit. Let's jump into the Yinzer mailbag. What's the Yinzer mailbag? It's when you, the fan, get to ask the Yinzer Bros anything you want. If you got any questions to ask us, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Tim is already down the rabbit hole looking at the size of this guy.
This doesn't make any sense. It's saying this dude's been in the league since 2022, and he's 28 years old. Riddle me that. That doesn't make any
Well,
sense
Tim,
to
a
me.
brief stint in prison will do that sometimes.
If he was in prison, cool. But something doesn't riddle me this. It doesn't.
Hey, all I know, he's a Steeler now, Tim. He's a Steeler now. So again, if you'd like to send us anything to the Yinzer mailbag, email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Tim, what is
He's
in
been in the
Yinzer
league
mailbag?
1 year, TJ. 1 year. He's 28.
That's fine. That's fine. He could be, that's like, whatchamacallit? He could be like Bo Nix. How old's Bo Nix? Like 32?
Bo Nix is like 30.
Hey, it's okay. What do we got in the Yinzer mailbag tonight, Tim?
Oh, the
Anything
Yinzer
exciting?
mailbag. We got some questions. We got some actually some good questions today.
Okay.
Not from
You
the
sound
Mush. Mush didn't do
surprised.
anything. Somebody else. We got the Smiths. That was some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
So, but the Commanders coming up. Based on his performance thus far, would you welcome Jalen Daniels to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Let me think about that. Yeah.
I would give up every draft pick we have for the next
Yeah.
5 years. But yes,
I loved him at LSU. I thought he was amazing. Everybody's
Yeah,
like,
again.
I don't know.
me.
No, not you. I said all the other people were like,
I know. I was
said,
like,
no. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft.
when
was
I
my
saw
personal
him,
opinion.
when I saw him the first time, I was like, I'm like, this guy's giving me spidey senses, and I'm thinking, yeah, don't worry, Steelers will get him at 18 or 20. He'll be around.
Yeah, he was
I'm an idiot.
No.
Yeah, of course. I take.
Now, this is the one drawback with him. He is skinny. So my fear is
Okay.
this. I don't know, through the years, how much pounding he's going to take, especially if he keeps running the way that he's running.
I mean, he's still growing into his body.
Well, that's true. He'll get bigger, but he's very skinny.
No, that dude's awesome, man. He is electric. I
And
hope.
I tell you what,
I hope he's
got
not
a
electric
cannon for an
Sunday.
arm. He's accurate. He's smart. He can read a defense.
Seems like a nice human too. It's not.
He does. I
not-
think he'd be great in black and gold. Yes, well, that's a yes
Okay,
on my
that's a
part.
good question. All right. So here's a good one. If Tomlin retired tomorrow, who of the current coaches in the NFL would you be okay with leading the Steelers?
Who of the current coaches? Like if we grab anybody or
Anybody.
or realistically,
Anybody.
I would say probably my top three would be Shanahan. I think you can't, you can't, hello?
I can hear you. I'm just
Oh.
I'm still looking at stats of this guy's.
Oh, you're still
No, I'm not.
totally, totally.
No, I'm listening. Shanahan.
Yeah. Oh, I think you got to take, you can't, hello, if you got to go to the Chiefs, you got to steal
I
the
was
Walrus.
like I was stunned that wasn't the first name that came out of your mouth.
Well, again, I think it's when you look at how these teams are constructed, and then, golly, who would I? It can't be. I'm not a big, me. I'm not going to agree. I think the Hardballs are they?
I mean,
they're fake.
come on, dude. You got don't just bite your bullet and say the Harbaugh, not
No,
you know.
I would probably say again, and I think I'd like to see what he do. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say no to McVay. I think he'd be decent. I'll tell you what, too, man. The ankle biter. Boy, he's done a pretty decent job over there as a motivator.
Dude, he's got like
I'll tell you what,
he's got like a Wizards offensive coordinator.
he does it. But I'll tell you what, man, he built they may be the best balanced team in the league. They are. They got a great defense and a great offense.
I think the shine's going to come off that pumpkin they call Jason Goff at some point here.
It could, but I'll tell you what, they're beating the fire out of teams.
I don't know. They're killing people.
So who would your three be?
Andy Reid would be one.
Yeah, the Walrus,
Um,
the big guy.
mm, 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 mm. This is where it gets interesting, man. I would say Shanahan is two, and I'm gonna go with. I'm. It's close between McVay and Harbaugh, but I'm gonna stick with Harbaugh from Baltimore, man. I just
Dude,
been at the game. Dude. TJ. Whatever you can say about him, dude. He has won. He's
yeah,
won.
but he makes boneheaded plays sometimes.
So does Tomlin. Tomlin does it
I
too.
get that, but that doesn't. If you want the three, you really want Harbaugh. I
TJ.
think he's made more
TJ.
boneheaded plays than Tomlin has.
I don't know. He's won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco too.
Yeah, well, so's Tomlin. He's one. He's one.
There's a big difference between winning the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco and winning with Ben.
I'm telling you, man. Well, how about this for a question? If you could pick one assistant coach to be your next head coach, who would it be? Just one.
Assistant coach?
Huh? Like an OC or a DC?
Right now, I would. I mean, there's two guys that come to the top of my radar, but I would have slightly edge him over there. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from Detroit, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
TJ, he's a wizard, man. He's
Yeah,
a
he's
wizard,
pretty good.
dude. It's either that or Flores. I think one of the two of those guys.
I think Flores would be. Yeah, he'd be remarkable. Absolutely.
But I
He'd
mean, that
probably
dude.
he'd be in keeping with the Steeler kind of way.
But I think if I can't remember, I think Ben Johnson. I think he is from Pittsburgh, or
Well, there you
somewhere
go.
around. But that dude, I mean, he's a wizard.
Okay, that'd be good. What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
See, I looked up Ben Johnson, and it just pops up some guy that was born in the 1500s.
Tim, this is why you need education.
Ben, I mean, but I can't know. I can't know everything about the NFL. I'm sorry,
That's true. That's true.
can't know everything. So, next question: what is the best way to get rid of the Ravens in the playoffs?
What do you
I
mean
guess.
to get rid of them? Like when we play them, or to have them not get into the playoffs?
Well, let me pose this question: what's the best way to get rid of the Ravens in the playoffs? So, would you feel more? I mean, I guess that's a question. He's like,
Are we talking
would you
like
rather,
like
would you
Tanya
rather, would you rather
Harding
handle,
and
would
Nancy
you rather
Kerrigan?
handle,
What are we
yes,
talking about here?
yes. Would you rather handle business yourself with those guys and go up against them, or have somebody else do the dirty work?
It doesn't matter.
I guess it does, because sometimes, like to me, I understand we won the Super Bowl, but it would have felt a little bit sweeter going through New England.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the year we went, when we were in St. Lucia, well, there's nothing better than kicking the crap out of the Ravens.
TJ, there would have been something. There would have been something better.
Yeah.
It would have been beating Tom Brady in an AFC title game. Because TJ,
Yeah.
how many times did you see that dude just absolutely rip your heart out?
But there's a reason why we didn't beat them, Tim. They cheat.
I mean, I get it, but still, again, I would want it. If there's one time to see that team lose to beat
I
that
get
team
it.
in a title game,
I would
have been like,
I
yeah,
get it.
I would have been like,
They were
that's
the
it.
kryptonite. I get it. No.
And it
Yeah,
kind of
it doesn't. I wouldn't mind taking care of business with them, and it seems that we do. So in the last 8 games, we are 7-1 against the Ravens.
okay. So I think it's gonna be a tough game. I mean, you're coming off realistically short turnaround after
Because
you know,
they played last night, so they get
so-
a couple more days. I get it.
a little. And then if the Steelers don't make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC, or say any whatever, let me put this. He tried to put if the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl, what NFC team would you like to see on that side play them?
Any, but I mean, right now, I think the clear
I guess it would be the best
juggernaut
game.
is the Lions right now.
I don't think TJ. There's a deep Red Sea, and it's about to get roaring out in the West Coast. They're getting their dudes back. That team's going to be there.
I think again, you've lost Ayuk for the year. He's gone. Debo, you get
You
Christian
get that dude
McCaffrey,
that got shot in the chest. He's back.
but he's a rookie. I mean, you don't know what he's
I
going
like
to do
him,
yet.
dude. I like
Is he
him.
going to be? Is he going to be like Brandon Ayuk? We don't know.
I don't
I
know.
mean, we're getting ready to do the farm with it,
But
and
you
they've got to dig
you
out
are
of a
TJ,
hole.
but you are getting Christian McCaffrey back. I mean,
So who's got the better complete team, the Lions or the 49ers?
I think when they're all, ooh,
So just so you know, the Lions right now in the NFC, I believe, if I remember
yeah,
correctly, they get the number one ranked offense and the number three ranked defense.
I don't put it. TJ, I'm not saying that, but the Niners have been decimated by injury. Now
I
that they
get
got
it.
all their pieces back, besides Ayuk, I
Mhm.
still think they got more talent than the Lions do because Aiden Hutchinson's a ginormous lock. And I thought even with Aiden Hutchinson, I still think the San Francisco defense is better than that Detroit defense. Offense wise, that's where it gets kind of tricky because their offense is very good. I
Mhm.
just it's close because having McCaffrey's a different dimension,
He
dude.
is. And when you don't
Different
have
dimension,
him,
dude.
and we don't know what kind of McCaffrey they're going to get back anyway.
I don't know
So,
that. I'm assuming he is going to be McCaffrey.
I mean, and he might be. This tells you too. I mean, schemes are
TJ,
great,
he's not going
but
to be
you
because
need the players too.
the mush drafted him first player in his fantasy, so I can guarantee that dude's something's else going to pop within 3 carries.
He probably will. So
Yeah.
I don't. I think right now, I think it's going to be the Lions and then whoever else on the side, unless the Lions get injured or they fall apart, which they could, but I don't see it right now.
I don't know. It's going to. I think the NFC picture is going to be interesting. I still think you're going to have the Niners. I mean,
I mean, who else?
Eagles are playing good ball too, man.
The Eagles, they have a tendency. Now, again, they got the great pickup in Barkley. Saquon Barkley was a great pickup, but they have a tendency defensively to fade toward the end of years. So I don't know. I'm curious to see. I mean, the Steelers tradition, we don't play well against the Eagles. I'm curious to see. I mean, basically, they built the Steelers as a reflection of the Eagles. I'm
I
curious to
agree,
see how we do.
and I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I mean, when the Rams get those two receivers back, man, and they're healthy, it's a tough team. That's a tricky team to be playing because their defense is pretty good, dude.
Well, they are. They are. But I'm just right now. I think until the Lions show you something else. Well, here's something nuts. So a couple of our dudes here, man, Ty, my boy Ty, and a couple guys, they were playing basketball. But I don't know what the name of the basketball game was on their PS5s. Guess who they were playing with last night? Fatanu. They played against him.
Well, tell that dude to get in the cold tub, get that knee right.
So they were talking, and they're like, "We're like huge fans." They were literally playing with him online last night.
See get off the sticks and go find a knee ligament, dude.
Did you
You're
hear? They're saying now he may be back for the end of the year.
TJ, the travel chief needs if he should be playing basketball.
Yeah.
Get the Miyagi hands on that knee and get out there. We need you. Put your hand in the pow.
That's
Get his
true.
hand in the pow.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Well, again, if you guys like what you hear,
Fatanu playing video. Get your hand in the pow, dude.
it is what it is. So, if you would like to get your questions, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com, and you get to be on this international podcast. Tim, let's talk about the Commanders. We talked a little bit about Jalen Daniels. I think he's the real deal. But again, he's a rookie.
Mhm.
If anybody can confuse a rookie, maybe Tomlin can. He's pretty good against rookies. We know this about them now, too. From their injury report, Steelers are getting healthy. They've got some injuries. Lattimore is out. He's a big deal to them, in the secondary.
Yeah, he is.
Robinson is out. That's a big deal. He's he's one of the running backs. And then this is nuts. I don't know if you heard this or not. Siebert, their kicker, who is like, I think the best ranked kicker in the AFC or the NFC right now, is possibly going to be out. They brought somebody else in.
Did they bring in Matt Wright? That dude seems like he's always like the guy the Steelers brought in the one year. He looks like Elf on a Shelf. I see him popping up with other teams all the time.
I don't know.
I'm like, how's Elf on a Shelf getting a job with the Niners? How's Elf on a Shelf? He's like in Jacksonville one day. He's at San Francisco one day. He's like,
do what you got to do.
He's probably the Elf of the Shelf. That's the guy that's coming.
He could be. You do what you do. So they're a little banged up. So Tim, when we look at the game and the Steelers, let's talk about a little bit about what we need to do. You think to shut down the Commander offense? What do you think needs to happen?
Sorry, Ben Johnson's not from Pittsburgh. He's from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Sorry,
he's a scrub. Right. We can't.
What do I think they need to do on offense? You said?
Yeah, to shut down their offense.
To shut down, who we playing again? Redskins or
the
Commanders?
Yeah,
Shut down their offense.
I mean, so,
You
you know,
got you
like,
TJ. You got to stop the running game. I mean, you got to make them
yeah,
one dimensional. That's to me. You
yeah.
gotta make them one dimensional. I don't know what they're gonna do with this dude Daniels. I don't know if you don't. I'm hoping they don't have to blitz him, and you can keep dudes back, and you can get
They
pressure with
haven't
your
been
front four.
blitzing hardly at all this year. I think they'll get pressure
I just
with their
don't.
front guys.
To me, if I think you could do some exotic pressures if you just. I like that word, exotic pressures with
See, that makes you sound very
it
professional.
does. It does. With four dudes and you can drop people and kind of fool them. I think Cam Sutton, even though I think he's going to be I think they're going to keep Beanie in the nickel, but I think they're going to bring Cam Sutton in the dime, and I think he's going to do. I'm happy he's back because I think that's going to chirp a lot of communication
Yeah.
on that defense too.
Plus, he's bigger.
So
Beanie's. I mean, he is what his name is. What is he, like 5'9"?
dude kick
Cam's
both.
bigger.
That dude would kick both of our rear ends in
Well,
3.2 seconds.
that's true, but I mean, he's not going to kick. When you get a pulling guard coming down on you or something like that, what are you going to do? I think part of the reason they've been struggling with the run is because, I mean, if they're in a nickel, he's out there. They're running on nickel. I mean, that's a big liability for us.
I agree. So I don't know. To me, it's like you gotta. I think it all starts with stopping the run with those guys and make them one dimensional.
So do you think that Jalen can beat us as a pure passer? He's not a bad passer.
That's what's scary. I think he can. So I don't know how to defend him. To me, it's like one of those things. It's like I just figure you got to try to make them one dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
If you make him one dimensional, maybe he'll throw you something. I don't know, man. The dude has. I don't know if he has. Does he have one turnover? Any INTs this year?
He does. I think he's got 9 touchdowns and he's got more than one. But here, I mean, he's basically averaging about 200 yards passing a game, and then he's running. But again, here's the thing: he's skinny. You got to be careful with his runs. He is. Yeah, I would not put him on like the. He can run. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not. He's not Justin Fields. He's just. He can run, but I think you make him beat you with his arm. And I don't know. I'm with you. I think you make them one dimensional. So let's talk a little bit about their defense. Their defense isn't terrible. It's
No,
not
but
like
it's not great.
yeah. It's something else. So what do you think the offense needs to do to take care of their defense? Are we just going to run the ball? I mean, you can
TJ,
pass on these guys.
I believe they're ranked either 31st or 32nd against the rush.
Yeah.
You give the ball to your running backs, all three of them. I want to see all three of them this game.
Hey, you know what?
I would run the wing tee.
Patterson's back. He's gonna be healthy.
I line up in the wing tee this game and just wing tee it the rest of the just up and down the field. Every once in a while,
Gateway High School.
every once in a while, throw a jump ball, but just hand the ball off to those. Have all three of those guys out there. Just do the wing tee.
619 waggle right,
What do you gotta do?
719 waggle left. Let's just get it
That's what
done.
you got to do. That's all you got to do. Just pound them. Because if you pound them and run on them, you control the clock.
Yes.
Jalen Daniels isn't on the field, and their offense is what you have to keep off the field. Because to me, if the Steelers get down this game, like down fairly big early, I'll say big, maybe 14 points, is a wrap. They ain't coming back on this team.
Yeah.
So they got to get somebody that, to me, use the clock and just run the ball.
I think this is going to be a big Peasy game too. I think we're going to start to see in these games if he can shut down. What's their main dude's name again? I forget their main receiver.
Terry McLaurin. Here's what gets me nervous, dude.
If Peasy can take care of him and we just we bracket him over the top with a safety.
Yeah, but here's the thing that gets me nervous about that, man. Truthfully, because Peasy's great when he's against big, tall, lengthy receivers. When he gets these shorter guys, he seems to be grabby and he doesn't have great games. So that gets me a little nervous, man.
We'll see. It'll be a test. So again, and I think too, when it comes to pressure, we should be okay with that. But from an offensive standpoint, I think we're going to be fine. Again, it plays right into Russ's game. Hand the ball off every once in a while. Chuck a moon ball, and let your guy fight and grab it.
And give me some goal line passes to number 80.
Big 80.
Put it. I want to see the. Here, here's a little hint. You guys want to make some money? First touchdown of the game. The big fella on the goal line, somewhere near the goal line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 80.
Yeah,
book
that'd
it.
Be great.
Book it. It's gonna happen.
That'd be great. That would be great. I think that'd be great. I think what might surprise us this game too, again with the addition of Williams and stuff like that. Even in the last few weeks too, you've seen Van Jefferson get more open. And I'm telling you, man, it seems like Austin is starting to find his niche.
Every time I listen to the radio show, they said all the guys that are like beat writers say he's open all the time, even in
He
practice. He's
is.
open all the time. So I mean, I hope so. I mean,
He doesn't have still like when I see him, I don't see like a Tyreek Hill yet, but he's
he's not. He's just
fast.
not. He's fast. He is O. He is O. Remember, I've always said we need O bleep speed. He has O bleep speed.
He does. He does.
I mean, but he's fragile. He's not. Tyreek is like a little muscle running
Yeah, yeah.
around. Just a
Yes.
little body. Just all I picture Tyreek is just a little muscle, just a little bicep running around the field.
That's true. So Tim, what's your score prediction for the game?
With all that being said,
Tim, we do not live in our fears, Tim.
TJ, you want my god awful opinion?
Yeah.
I think the Washington Commanders are an overrated team.
Yeah.
They have beaten absolutely no one. They have beaten the Panthers. Who else have they beaten?
The
They beat a whole bunch of
Bears,
one or
they
two
should have
and
lost to the Bears. The
They
Bears
should have lost to the
stink.
Bears. But I think the rest of the teams they beat are like one or two win teams.
Mhm.
TJ, the Steelers are going to go there, and they are going to beat the living doo-doo out of this team. I'm just telling you, they're going to beat the piss out of this team.
I hope you're right. What's your score prediction?
I think they're going to win like something of the score of 40 to like 10. TJ, I'm going to say this. I think Russell Wilson, he's only going to be playing. You'll see Justin Fields by maybe beginning of fourth quarter.
Wow. Tim, I like this. I've never seen you like this,
And
Tim.
what's going to irritate the hell out of me is they'll take him out, put him in, but somehow TJ Watt's going to be playing with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, up by 37.
Nah. Well, Patterson and Moon. Moon will be in there by then.
I think they are going to beat the piss out of this team. I don't think Jalen Daniels is going to make it past the second quarter. There's another fun fact that you could put it in your pipe and smoke that. They are going to beat the loving crap out of this team.
I think you're right. And again, I think
I can't wait till my face is posted on the Google machine and be like, after the Steelers lose like 52-4. I would be like this.
well, I don't think. I mean, and again, it's not like many of them have. T.J. Watt and these guys, they have ways of making these QBs. Pressure is a great equalizer. You can sit back in the pocket and have. He is not human. He's just not.
TJ, I mean, you could. But I don't think there's anything to do with a rookie quarterback. There's anybody in general. If I saw TJ Watt over here, you ever see like the thing of the quarterback doing like that? Would be me, like.
Well,
His
again,
pee's coming down my leg. I'm going, TJ,
what
I
makes
would be
it-
nervous. It wouldn't even need to be, you wouldn't even need to have TJ Watt there. I could just have a big screen, like, and he's just, his picture's there, and it looks like he's coming at me, and I'm just like, I'd be like, oh, that's what I would be.
Well, he's unique too because it's not like he's just going to hit you. He's like a ball hawk. I mean, he is, you don't know where the ball is. You're trying to get away from him. He's just looking at you, looking at the ball. I mean, it's ridiculous.
TJ, he's like Jason, like he just keeps coming. He's just like, you're like, and he's huge. Like, you don't understand how big TJ Watt is until you see him in person when you're 4 rows from him and he's doing as you're going, this dude is ginormous.
Yeah, he's the real deal, Tim. So
He's
I'm going to say
huge.
I'm in your camp. I'm going to say the Steelers win 31-10.
I just think they're going to beat the piss out of this team.
I think it'll be a statement, and then it'll be us, really us looking at the Ravens next week, and it's going to be again. We're not overlooking any games, but I think that's going to be another big test for them. We're going to see, how good the Ravens offense really is, and then we're going to see how good our offense is.
I wanted to get to a point where they say, hey, this is a 5-star matchup because we're in it. That's what I wanted to get to. That's what I want.
I hope so.
I
All
don't know,
right,
man. Now I'm going to be nervous me saying this the whole rest of the weekend. Going here, what did I open myself up to?
Hey, you know what? Sometimes, Tim, you gotta take a chance, step out, and just share your heart. You got to get out there sometimes, Tim.
TJ, there was, and I this is crazy to say, watching that game last night got me more bullish on the Steelers than I have been all year. Like, I'm not even, when I say bullish, like,
Yeah.
I say they're the third team in the pecking order in the AFC, but I still like. I'm starting to believe that they can go into KC and beat them. They can go into Buffalo and beat them. Like I'm starting to believe like they can go beat teams like the best of the best.
I agree.
But
I
it's
agree.
creeping me out.
I
It's
agree.
creeping me out.
They constructed a very balanced team, and I'm curious to see what we do in this back end. See if we continue to get better and stronger. We'll see.
I agree.
All right, that's all you got this week for the Yinzer Bros. If you like what you hear, you like what you see, please subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on any podcast platform that you have, and don't forget if you like what you see, pass it along to everybody else. We are the Yinzer Bros. We love you. We stand for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number one out here, right?
See you next week, baby.